Hi, I'm David, and this is Nod. We're going to show you how to assemble your gravity bed frame. Let's get started. So before we get started, let's familiarize ourselves with the parts of the frame. The frame is basically divided into two halves. There's an upper half and a lower half. So we assemble them separately and then we'll join them together. But it's pretty easy to tell which is the upper and the bottom just because of the size of things. So here we've got our side rails, and it's easy to tell the side rails because they have slats on one side and they're smooth on the other. So that's one side. Here's a middle rail. Easy to tell the middles because they have slats on both sides. And here's the other side, again with slats there. Then we have our cross pieces. Here's our largest cross pieces. There are two. There are four middle cross pieces. The way you can tell the upper and the lower is the upper will have a sticker on them. And then we have our lower cross pieces and side supports also. So it's basically one half of the frame and the other half of the frame. Okay, next you want to take two of your smaller bolts, one of your largest bolts, and what you're going to do is take your side piece here with the saddles in and the smooth side out, and then your largest support piece, and what we're going to do is just put a bolt in the top, and we're not going to cinch this up. We're just going to make it finger tight. We want it to be loose at this point, and I'll explain why in a moment. So you're going to get one piece that looks like this, okay? And again, you want to keep it loose. Next, you're going to take your middle triangular piece, the larger one, with the longer back legs. You can also tell it's the back because your headboard slots are here. So you always know that these pieces go toward the back. There are three of them, two sides and one middle. So you want to take the one that has the slat saddles on both sides. You want to take your longest bolt, and again, all we're going to do is put it through the top hole and just like this, and we're only going to do it finger tight. Okay, so it should look like this. The reason we're doing it only finger tight at this point is we're now going to take the second cross piece, take off our little nut here that we had holding it, and put this on, and again, just finger tight. So now you should have something that looks like this. Now we want to take, again, another one of our small nut and bolt. And remember, we have four sizes of nuts and bolts. We have what I call tiny, small, medium, and large. So this is the small bolt. And if you lay them out, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. Smooth side out, slat saddle side in. Put one bolt through the top, like that, and again, only finger tight. So what we should have right now is these are only affixed at the top, like this, and right now, these are able to wiggle, and you want that, and I'll explain further. You'll see why you don't want to cinch everything down at this point. So you should have something so far that looks like this. So for this next step, what you want to do is get yourself one of these slats, and you're going to unscrew the bolt that we had hand tight. Just enough to loosen it up to where you can put this side of the slat inside the saddle and put it in like that. Now we're only going to do this on these top slats. All the rest will go in very easily. So you should have something that looks like that, and you want it, again, only hand tight. You don't want to cinch it down too much, because what we want to be able to do is, again, wiggle these like that, because what we're going to do now is we're going to install the rest of the slats. We put it in there, and then just slightly move our side of our frame in, and then just continue doing the same all the way down. Just put the one in like that. Just move this out slightly to allow it to go in, and then move it back in like that. Same thing there. Move it out slightly. Scoot it in. Move it out slightly. Move it in. Let me grab one more slat here. And the last one. Put it in there. And so we've got our slats in. Okay, what we're going to do now is take one of our long bolts, one of our small bolts, and nuts. We're going to take the small bolt, just put it through like that, all the way there. Now, one thing to note, there are 4 of these pieces, and they look similar in size. The ones that we're going to be using for this back half will have some kind of a sticker on them, where the other 2 that we're going to use for the front half will not. So the back half will be denoted with some kind of a sticker to show that you're using the right one. Even though all 4 pieces look the same, the screw holes are ever so slightly off. So you shouldn't have to force the screws through them if you're using the right piece on the back as opposed to the front. So we're going to do that, and we're going to take one of our long bolts here, and we're going to put it through like that, and we're just going to kind of finger tighten it and just have it as a holder. So right now you should have half of the top half complete, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. So let's move over and do that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing like we did on this other back slat. Is we're now going to put the back slat on this side. So we're going to do it in the same fashion. We're just going to, again, unscrew that top bolt just to give us a little more slack, and we're going to take the top piece, put it in the saddle, just move this out a little bit so we can get this one in like that, and then, whoops, got to have a little balance here when you do this step. And that piece, oh, let's get it on the hole there, and there. There we go. And just go ahead and finger tighten that there. So we have that top piece on. Now we're going to be able to do the rest. Okay, we're going to continue working our way down the frame. So again, we put one of our slats in the middle there. Just bend the frame a little bit, because again, we only hand tighten those bolts. So we just bend it enough to get that one in, and then pull it back so none of the rest of them fall out. Same thing on this one. Pull it there, bend it slightly out, pop it in. This one in, bend it slightly out, pop it in. There, out and in. Last one. Out and in. Now it'll allow us to go ahead and put this cross piece in here in just a second, and then we'll go around put the bottom bolts in, everything, and cinch it up nice and tight. And then this top half will now be complete. Okay, next we're going to take another one of our small nut and bolt. Take the other piece with the sticker on it. Going to take and put the one bolt through there and just hand tighten so it'll hold. We're going to unscrew this one that we had hand tightened here. This was one of our long bolts, remember, one of the long ones. And we're going to now place it through the frame. There, you want to hand tighten that one, and then what we'll do is the next step. So hand tighten that bolt, and we should be good to go. It should look something like that. Okay, what we want to do now, since we pretty much have the frame, the top portion complete, what we want to do is go around the entire frame and put the rest of the bottom bolts on. And once we put these bottom bolts on all the way around the frame, then we want to go ahead and cinch them up and go ahead and tighten all these bolts, and then we'll be finished with the top part. We're going to do the exact same step with the bottom part, and then we're going to join the two together. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to slide both sides of the bed together, and you're going to use the medium-sized bolt to join both of the front half and the back half together. Okay. So you want to go ahead and do that. And then put on the top bolt, and you want to do that on both sides. We're going to show you how to get the middle bolt in just a second. So go ahead and join both sides with the medium bolts. Okay, let's take one of our rails now and install it right here at the end of the frame. And this is to hold your mattress. And so you want to go ahead and cinch those screws down good. You want to do the same thing with the two remaining guards, and those holes are on the inside of the frame, so you want to reach underneath, and again with the tiny screws that you have, I'm going to go ahead and put those there, and you want to do it on both sides, so you go ahead and cinch those up. Okay, now what I'm going to do is have Nod come in and help me lift up the bed, and I'll show you how to get to the bottom and get those screws installed. Let's just go ahead and set this up. Okay, now that the bed is tilted up like this, that will allow us to put these two medium-sized screws into the frame that will adjoin the bottom half with the top half of the frame and bring them together and secure them. So you want to put the bolts in and then secure them with the nuts on the other side. Okay, Nod, if I can get your assistance again, let's go ahead and lower the bed. Well, that's it. Your frame's now assembled. Now you can enjoy the healthiest sleep you've ever dreamed of.